Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Know the Good, Good to Know, where we talk about wonderful things that are happening in the world, along with a few people making the globe a better place, plus a couple of funnies to top it all off. I'm Jordan, and I'm here with my co-happy host Ryan.
Hello.
You ready to get into it?
Yep.
Roll that intro. Okay, so because we're now on episode 4, I've completely forgotten who's starting where, but I'm going to throw you in the deep end and I'm going to say, can you start us off with a good news story?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So my story comes from a very popular Amazon Prime show called Clarkson's Farm.
Piggies.
Sorry?
Piggies. You've seen it?
Yeah, I have. So, very popular TV show,
Yep.
Clarkson's Farm. I'm sure most people who are listening have seen it. And it did educate the viewers on how difficult it is to be a farmer, right?
Yeah.
All the red tape involved, how Jeremy Clarkson was obviously trying to expand his income, I guess, using his farm resource, and a lot of red tape that just surrounded that. Anyway, off the back of this, there's been new planning rules for farm shops, which has been named Clarkson Clause.
I love that.
It's kind of cool. Farmers are now allowed to convert disused agricultural buildings into homes and shops without planning permission under Clarkson's Clause.
Without planning permission?
Apparently so.
Oh, mate, that's going to change the game.
We all know public funding for farmers has been dropping.
Mm-hmm.
It's simply unfair to expect farmers to make losses on their produce so it subsidises supermarkets, basically.
Yeah, they run. I mean, they're the source of the food. So
exactly.
They practically
and
run
I do
the country.
think farmers are overlooked.
Massively. Huge.
Massively overlooked.
Yeah.
Hard graft. Isn't like as Caleb says, it's a lifestyle, not a job.
Yeah, the amount of work that goes into it as well.
Course,
like,
yeah.
I'm massively uneducated on farming. I mean, there's a guy at work. He's a farmer, or he used to be a farmer, should I say? And he used to do wheat fields, and he was out there like every night for a good 7 hours after work. Yeah. He wouldn't finish until like 1:45. But you'll get it done.
Yeah,
get it done.
Yeah.
It's an absolutely mad thing. But yeah. Sorry, go on.
So the government have cut red tape to allow farmers to more easily diverse their businesses by putting old buildings.
Or no, old buildings.
That's what I was looking for.
Old buildings
to use. Mm-hmm. So the reform, which was inspired by Jeremy Clarkson's battle with West Oxfordshire's District Council, which obviously they said no to literally anything they could.
Yeah.
And how he struggled with the government, the bureaucracy around everything, and converting his old building he had into a restaurant and a shop, didn't he?
Yeah.
Which eventually got closed.
Was that season 1, wasn't it? Yeah, season
1
that
opened and then it got closed, yeah. And then they tried to get a car park. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that show, but because of that, Mark Spencer, the farming minister, said they would move towards cutting out that needless bureaucracy and making it more easier for farmers to diversify. Yeah. Right?
This is good because I know the planning process from work and it's awful.
Of course, because you're involved in the planning permissions, etc.
They say something like 8 to 12 weeks to get planning permission, but you've got 3 weeks to register before then. It's ridiculous.
So as part of this, land can now be used to convert old buildings into training centres, outdoor sporting facilities.
Oh, so not just restaurants?
No, not just.
Right.
Giving the farmers more leverage to use what they have to make an income, I guess, and help with their lifestyle, so they can get an extra, like I said, extra bit of income.
Yeah, super smart.
So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot more into this. I'm not going to go too deep into it because I probably won't understand it.
There'll be so many things as well.
But the be all end all of it is that because of Clarkson's Farm, the show is obviously kickstarted this Clarkson Clause, which I think is great for farmers to use what they have to hopefully use what they obviously grow and what they yield on the farm, which they can then use in their shops.
Yeah.
For products.
Oh yeah. Hopefully, then that'll be.
Everyone loves like a farmer's
farm shop.
Yeah,
proper good farm shop. Yeah, beat the supermarkets hands down.
Yeah. So that's my good news story then. The Clarkson's Clause.
I love it, and it's a little bit home hitting for me because I work in all that planning guff, and it's a bit of a nightmare. And this might make it easier for us if we get a bunch of farms in.
Yeah. And I live next to a farm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're not too far away from a farm. Yeah, true.
We all live next to a farm, really.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we are very rural. But yeah, okay. So I'll jump onto my story then, which is a little bit different. But we're going across seas, or say across oceans, or whatever. We're going into America. So It's very on brand for us. It's very, well, considering we're a positivity podcast. So the article is, so we all know that helping people without the intention of actually helping them is a selfless act. But a study has been done where people with depression may actually get an added benefit from this. So the study was conducted in Ohio State University as part of a thesis by a PhD student named David Craig, not to be mistaken by Craig David. Craig David. All that. I said that so quietly. But although it would be cool if Craig David did a study on this. It was conducted with help from his co-author Jennifer Clevens, who is a professor of psychology at Ohio State University. So the results that apart from improving depression symptoms, it also helped the participants feel a bit more connected, which is a massive part of reducing depression, because it makes people sort of not feel lonely or cut off, but it then gives them like a bit of a lifeline as such. And weirdly enough, this sort of coincides with your mental health story last week. So one of the quotes that Craig said, he stated that social connection is one of the ingredients of life most strongly associated with well-being, and performing acts of kindness seem to be one of the best ways to promote these connections. So the study Craig and Professor Clevens conducted is part of the Journal of Positive Psychology, which if I want to get a hold of that journal, because it sounds like there's going to be all sorts of good stuff in there. We should just completely read it on this podcast. So the findings were that the reasons for acts of kindness or helping people were so efficient at alleviating symptoms of depression was the fact that it takes the depressed participants' mind off their current thoughts. So it basically just breaks them away from what they're thinking about. But the actual study itself, 122 participants in total, and they were broken up into 3 different groups. So 2 groups used CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy, which is what you were talking about last week.
Yeah.
For the guy with the eating disorder.
That's correct. Yeah.
The hero of the week, should I say. Mm-hmm. And one of the groups using CBT planned social activities, whilst the other used cognitive reappraisal techniques, which is, again, I should have just repeated what you said last week, which was something about taking notes on your
thought process and how you think.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. So processing what you're thinking so you can sort of catch where you're dropping off into that sort of depressive state. But the third group, otherwise known as the kindness cohort, which I thought was actually, I thought they were brilliant. We should have definitely used that as the name for this podcast instead of Know the Good, Good to Know. But I think we should, I like it. I like Know the Good, Good to Know. I think we should still run with it. But their job was to perform 3 acts of kindness 2 days a week, which to me sounded like a lot when I first read this, but after talking to you about it, it's not actually that much.
It's not that. It depends what you class as an act of kindness, I guess.
That's true.
How far do you go with an act of kindness? Is it saying hello to somebody on the street? Is it letting somebody through when you're driving a car?
Yeah, I could do. Well, so they said that it doesn't have to be big; it could be tiny. So one of the ones was something writing friendly post-it notes just to strangers, like whacking them out on streets
their back
and stuff.
when they're walking, like kick me.
Kick me. No, that's not a friendly note, is it? But no, just like whacking them on windows somewhere. Oh, my voice broke. Put them on windows, just saying, "Oh, have a nice day," that sort of thing, or making cookies, giving friends lifts, that sort of stuff.
Creepy.
So it's not that creepy. What? But the post-it notes.
If somebody left a post-it note in my car saying "Have a nice day," I'm like,
who's watching me? Who's keeping? No, this is a positivity thing, so it's helping the people with depression. So all 3 groups saw an improvement. However, the group that saw the biggest improvement, and I'm sure you can see where I'm going with this, was the one that performed the acts of kindness, which were found to improve symptoms in both depression and anxiety. So Craig stated, acts of kindness still showed an advantage over both social activities and cognitive appraisal by making people feel more connected, which is an important part of the whole wellbeing process, like you said before. So this kind of got me thinking about a weird correlation that I've sort of noticed personally about sort of mental health issues and how they've become more prevalent today than they were sort of say 10 years ago. I know obviously sort of 10, 15 years ago we were at school and that sort of stuff, so we're not going to know about it as much.
I think people just talk about it now more than they ever have.
Oh yeah, I suppose that's true. Well, yeah, okay, you got things like social media and all that sort of stuff, so I guess you see it.
People are more open.
Yeah, oh yeah, true. People are more open to talk about it, but weirdly I saw like this odd correlation between mental health issues becoming a bigger thing and people becoming not sadder, but a bit more sort of disconnected from humanity as such, not like killing each other in the street and, you know, eating each other and that sort of thing, but more a case of, like, for instance, on my daily drive to work and stuff, the amount of times that I let people through but they don't say thanks.
Oh, that winds me up so much.
It bugs me. It's a massive bugbear. But you have to let it go. I can't just sit there and I'm not going to turn my car around and chase them down and make sure that they say thanks. But I just noticed, like, so when I first started driving at 17, every single person I said thanks to all said thanks. And I don't know whether that's an age thing or whether it's, I don't know. But now I don't see, oh no, tell a lie, I see one or two out of like 50 cars.
It's just common courtesy.
That's all it is. It takes literally no effort to put a finger up just to acknowledge the fact that I've let you through.
I've got a thing I do if people pull out on me or just do a bad driving thing on me, and instead of giving them the "Hey, wanker" finger or something,
flipping the bird,
yeah, I just give them a thumbs down
because
I feel like that's more.
That feels like
more
it
like
hurts.
You didn't make me angry, but you did disappoint me.
Yeah,
and that's a thumbs down. And then hopefully they'll be like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use that so much. I think I told you about. I wanted to use it. I remember you telling me about this beforehand. But yeah, oh mate, that's like I can imagine it happening to me, and it feels like it genuinely has hurt me inside, as if. But yeah, that's my good news story. So basically, the study is be kind to people, and it sounds sort of like a balance. What's it called? I don't want to get all biblical on it, but be kind to thy neighbour, and thy neighbour will be kind to you, sort of thing. But yeah, that was the gist of it. So a massive thing is it helps people with depression and anxiety if they do these acts of kindness, and then it doesn't completely recover them, obviously, from depression, because I suppose that's going to be a long process, but it definitely helps them on their way to getting through it, basically.
That's good.
But yeah, that's my positive story. So what are we doing? We go jump onto Heroes of the Week?
Heroes of the Week.
We've recorded a jingle.
I know, we need to do a proper jingle.
Well, no. Weirdly, I think it's episode 1 or 2, we recorded us both going, Heroes of the Week.
It was terrible, though.
No, the first one sounded great.
You can play guitar.
I can't play well.
Go, a ding, 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 and then we go, Heroes of the Week. A ring, ding, ding.
A ring, ding, ding.
Alright, let's move on. Heroes of the Week.
Heroes of the Week.
Right, you can go first now then.
So I'm going to do my hero of the week.
Carry on, mate.
So my hero of the week, you're going to let me power on through. So it's a guy called Niall Harbison, and he helps save dogs in Thailand. He's also set up a charity called Happy Doggo, based in the UK. Go and find it. Go and send some money to some doggos in Thailand. But although he's saying that, it's based in the UK. I think it does help dogs around the world. So a little bit about Niall. He used to work in the corporate world. He had his own business. He was working in marketing and social media. But he wanted to get out of that rat race because he wasn't a big fan. So he's escaped. He went straight to Thailand, as most people do. What is it? Tom, didn't he? Tom tried to escape to Thailand. Yeah. How long did he last?
I mean, he was there for a couple of months, yeah.
Oh, was he there for a couple of months?
Yeah. A couple of months.
Shows how much I know. So he originally started off feeding the dogs. That's all he did. And it's in a place called Koh Samui. He originally fed 8 dogs along a route, but 8 dogs quickly turned into 20, and 20 quickly turned into 40.
Yeah, it's because they're all telling their friends.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
Ralph!
Free food!
Ralph!
Come get some.
Come with me. I know a great place to get some grub.
Who's called Ralph in
Thailand?
Tell
Doug. I'll tell Doug. Don't you worry.
Yeah, okay. I can see I see why it's started to happen. But then he started sterilising the dogs, which evolved into also taking it to the vets.
Sorry, what did he say?
Sterilising them.
Oh. I'm not sure I thought you said, but
sterilising them. I know it sounds bad, but they read on and it does get better. So he stated 3 months in, it became his mission to help street dogs across Koh Samui, and then expanding that across the whole of Thailand. And then he wanted to make it a bigger leap, and that's when he started the Happy Doggo thing in the UK, so he can help dogs around the world. So currently he's on a rented plot of land in Koh Samui, who's owned by a lovely little Thai lady who also is a big dog lover, giving the land to them so the dogs can have their own safe place. The space was necessary because the number of sick dogs that Niall was coming across. Why are you staring at me? You're just staring at my finger because I've got the little finger points.
I'm staring at you because I've got something funny to say and I feel like I'm going to lose your opportunity.
Okay.
No, you carry on.
I want you to shoot. Right,
no, because now the joke's going to be terrible.
Why? Do you want me to go back?
Nah, you're right.
What was the joke? Tell the joke.
I was just going to say,
hear it.
Imagine buying a holiday home next to them. You'd be well annoyed, wouldn't you?
What, all the barks
All
and
the
all the
barks.
barks and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, you
Now,
could, unless
that
you're
joke
really...
was awful because
It's not a joke.
it isn't.
It's just a comment.
More like a comment.
Yeah. But no, I can see where you're coming from. Unless you love dogs, in which case then you can go and...
There's a place near where
work
we
there.
live, near the golf course I play on,
Yeah.
and in the mornings you can hear the dogs barking when you're playing the golf course.
What, here, locally, to us?
Yeah.
Like the golf course near me?
Yeah.
That will be the dog kennel
Really?
as you go into
So
where
noisy.
I am. Yeah. There's quite a few there, though. There's a fair amount. But yeah, the golf course will probably back onto that.
It travels.
Pretty much.
Noise obviously travels across the field.
That's true. Yeah, true. But yeah, either way, so he's on this rented plot of land who's owned by the Thai lady. She's lovely. She's also a massive dog lover. Don't buy a house near some kennels because it's going to be noisy.
It's funny I moan about that because when I drop Roop off for school, his school is down like a housing estate.
Yeah.
And I always park in the same spot on the corner in front of somebody else, and they're probably like, "Why the fuck are you parking in front of me?" It's like, mate, I'm not being funny. Don't buy a house next to a school if you're going to moan about it. I sound the same as that person moaning about.
I have bought a house
Oh
next
yeah,
to
you
a
do live next to a school.
Yeah.
That's not because you're a nonce either.
You can't say that on the podcast. You can't say that.
Carry on.
That's not because you're a
Carry
nonce.
on.
This ain't like a lads podcast. This is
I'm
a
so
good news
sorry.
podcast.
It is a good news.
Either way, so the reason why they've got this plot of land with this space is because the number of sick dogs that Noel was coming across, he physically... So you can't treat them on the streets, and some of them were suffering from things like broken legs, cancer, mange, all sorts of stuff. So they needed a space specifically to treat them. So they built this place, the shelter, with 10 sort of mini kennels as such, or mini dog shelters for the house. So for the dogs that were in recovery as such before they go back. So the sanctuary was made because Niall was doing all this stuff for the dogs, and he was having to pay to pretty much give the dogs to the vets, and the vets were housing the dogs themselves, and obviously he was having to pay for this day by day pretty much, and it gets really, really expensive looking after dogs, especially if there's other people looking after them for you, not to mention you're feeding them, all that sort of stuff, paying all their bills. Either way, so today he looks after about 16 at the moment, and the purpose is to rehome the dogs. So he's rehomed quite a few, but unfortunately some do pass away. But if you think about it, they have the best end of life treatment compared to what they were going to get if they're on the street.
So hospice.
Pretty much.
A dog hospice.
Pretty much, yeah.
Where do these dogs come from?
They're street dogs in Thailand.
I know, but
so they're just making... This is the whole sterilisation thing. So this is the reason...
Because they're just breeding.
Because that's the problem. So that's the reason why the sterilisation thing is something that he's sort of focused on as well. Because it has... If you listen to the numbers that I'm going to read, it's astonishing. So the dogs get released back into the streets. I know that sounds bad, but it is where they live and it's what they know. So they've got their own sort of self-made homes and stuff in the streets. And they're not on their own because he's still on the run feeding them and making sure they're all healthy and cared for. So essentially they're just outside dogs and he's just looking after them. So he was asked where he'd see himself in 10 years by some reporters and stuff. And he said, I'm going to be doing exactly the same thing, but I'm just going to have a much bigger impact, which I thought was a pretty good statement to sort of come across and go, you know what, I know I'm not going to stop this. I'm going to be going and going and going until I'm gone. So I'll get on to some of his statistics, because we all have some statistics on this podcast.
I can't say that word because my list.
Go on.
I'm not going to bother.
Please.
No.
No. So he feeds, at the moment, 805 dogs a day.
Wow, that's
in
a lot
Koh
of food.
Samui. Yeah. So that's what the foundation's for, pretty much.
They'd be better off, right? Because in Thailand there's a lot of street food, isn't there?
What?
They'd be better off training them to just rob the street food things.
No, I think it's better what they give them, because it's actually food for the dogs
They'd probably end up with dog COVID.
What if they ate street food in Thailand? That's so bad. Either way, so he's sterilised up to date about 7,653 dogs, which is so many dogs. Yeah. But it sounds bad because obviously most people are like, oh, I'm against sterilisation. Why would you do it? Although you get your dog neutered
it's for the greater good.
Yeah, you get your dog neutered in the UK
of course,
most of the time anyway, just to stop them from making puppies. But so the numbers that he sort of calculated were, on average, most dogs that he's come across have had up to 10 puppies.
Wow.
So if he did the maths on average data sort of thing, and he said he's essentially stopped about between 20 and 30,000 puppies from being born.
Jeez.
But if you think about it, I know it sounds bad. It sounds really like mass genocide.
No, because
sort of thing,
what are them
but
dogs?
Yeah, exactly.
What sort of lifestyle are them dogs going to have?
Yeah, they're going to be born into starvation. They're going to be born into disease, illness, that sort of stuff. Not to mention the amount of complications that could come across the dog that actually gets pregnant.
Yeah, exactly.
So essentially, he saved 20,000 bad lives, should I say? But yeah, so that. And also, sorry, he's managed to rehome 34 dogs, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's also across seas.
That's
so
34 happy dogs.
That's 34 happy dogs and happy new homes. But again, the whole reason it isn't necessarily to rehome the dog. It's to treat them there and then, so they're all healthy and stuff. And I will also do a quick callback to episode 3 because I realised I made a massive mock-up. I said my one-legged astronaut was John McFall, and that is his name, but I realised I pronounced it John McCall 3 times.
Oh, really?
After that, yeah.
I mean, he would fall because he's only got one leg.
No, he's got some really good prosthetics that he can get a space with now. But yeah, so that's my hero of the week, and a quick recap to hero of the week. So Niall, let me quickly scroll back up so I can get his first name.
Get his name right.
Niall Harbison. Exactly. Niall Harbison, he's the founder of the Happy Doggo, and he's also a big man. He's also a big help in Coaster Movie with all the street dogs. So go and check him out.
Commendable man.
Commendable hero of the week.
Hero of the week.
Now for your guy.
Okay.
Or gal.
Before I start, can I say sorry?
Sorry.
Because what I've found is going to kill my lisp so hard that people are going to be like, I can't understand what he's saying.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
so I'm probably going to have a really bad Jonathan Wass moment.
Oh, no.
So, so my hero of the week is an entrepreneur ending homelessness. Right?
Oh, this is going to be
Right.
so funny.
His name is, what? You're laughing at homeless people?
No, I'm laughing at you.
Oh.
Reading the word homelessness.
And there's a lot of it in this, my little
Okay, all right.
text as well. So
I'm seated.
his name is Alex Stephanie. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Okay.
So he grew up in London, and he said he always felt guilty about the homelessness and remembers seeing people on the street and being horrified, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that homelessness has risen by around 60% in the last 10 years.
Has it
Which
really?
is crazy. Yeah.
Not all of us know, apparently.
Well, yeah.
That's mad. 60.
Yeah, and it is impossible not to see that,
That's
right?
huge.
You go to
Yeah.
a big city somewhere,
Anywhere, really. You can even go to like
Local
smaller
towns, big
cities and
towns.
you still see it quite
you do see that,
quite
right?
bad.
So Alex said he would buy coffee and have a chat to them, and he did donate, but he always felt like he was powerless and wondered what he could do long term to help, right?
Yeah.
Not
okay.
just that immediate.
Yeah. Not just a quick
Donation, right?
Here's 3 quid.
Because you don't know where it goes.
Yeah, it's
You don't
true.
see the outcome of that, right?
No, you don't.
So he decided to launch a crowdfunding platform called Beam.
Beam.
Go check it out.
Beam.
Beam, like a beam of light.
BEAM.
BEAM.
Okay, cool.
Beam.
Just clear it up.
Yep. That didn't impact my lisp.
No,
Right.
I know, but I just wanted to
Beam.
make it so you can actually find it.
So Beam, to allow people to donate money online to support homeless people, to get them training qualifications to get them a job, basically.
Oh,
But
wow.
not just giving them money, it's giving them
Opportunities.
opportunities.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
So to develop this idea, he spent a lot of time meeting with some big staff and managements across multiple charities. Crisis is quite a big one that you may have heard of.
Yeah.
And he wanted the truth, saying if it doesn't work, I won't do it. But he was keen to develop his idea. So he went on to found Beam in 2017. The website, what it does is list profile of homeless people and includes how they became homeless, so a bit of background on them.
Okay, yeah.
And what skills and training is needed to be funded so they can go on and obviously try to find a job, basically.
That's
and support their lifestyle.
sick. That is...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I said, founded in 2017, they've already transformed over 200 homeless people's lives, crowdfunded over £600,000.
Whoa.
So yeah.
Mate, that's like...
it's doing really well.
How long has this been running?
Since
Or didn't it?
2017. So
2017.
what's that? 4, 5, 6,
That's
7
not-
years.
That's not a long time to get 200
It's
people
not.
in sort of work
No.
and 600 grand.
Yeah.
Mate,
600,000.
that's some numbers. Fair play to him. Yeah.
That's my hero of the week. And there's a little bit on the article saying, tell us one little unknown fact about Beam. And he said, our name, it brings together ideas of positivity, support and light. But actually, I got the idea when I was walking around my flat struggling to come up with a name and bang my head against a beam. I thought,
Oh, sorry. That's really
it's like a foghorn in my ear.
That's it.
So yeah, that was my hero of the week. Alex Stephanie, who runs a organisation called Beam, which is a crowdfunding platform. So feel free to check it out.
Oh,
Have a
yeah.
look
I'm going to have a look at that. That sounds really good.
Yeah.
I want to see how many homeless people he's helped. Well, I suppose it does like all their CVs and that sort of stuff for them as well, I guess.
I assume they get support when they come to actual job application.
It's doing training
process.
for them, so yeah. I guess it does everything.
And the job centre itself does that stuff.
It's not just the job centre like in the UK.
There's also...
It's just like an agency to pretty much get everyone in, or get people into work.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Mate.
So yeah, that was my hero of the week.
Coming in with the heroes of the week.
Yeah, boy. Right. Usually we go to funny stories, happy stories.
Okay.
I've got a...
Usually.
Unusual story, if anything.
An unusual story.
Is it? I say unusual.
How unusual? On a scale of snakes into your pants to emotional support alligators.
Oh.
No, I'm joking. But go on.
Pretty boring compared to them. Now you say it's pretty boring.
No, I don't want to hear it.
I'm going to tell you anyway.
No, tell me anyway.
So let me start off with a question to you. How often do you chat to strangers?
Every day. Because I'm...
Which is very weird because you are very socially inept. Because you're on the spectrum. Honestly, having a conversation with Beeve is very difficult.
It is difficult.
Sometimes it's like having a conversation with a 5-year-old. Sometimes it's having a conversation with an adult.
An intellect.
Yeah.
Someone that's done his research.
Texting is even worse. It's
yeah,
painful.
right.
It's painful.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's not the story.
But
it's about... So there's been a study showing that it's proven to make you happy talking to strangers.
Oh my god, maybe that's why I'm so happy all the time. Because all I do is talk every day, like whether I'm going to Greg's for a little cheeky sausage roll or something, or I'm just walking around the street. Where is it? I was somewhere completely random. I think we were shopping or something, and Becca disappeared, and I was just randomly talking to a guy in the middle of a shopping centre.
That guy was like, what's he want money for?
I wasn't asking for money. I was just conversing.
Excuse me. Can I just have a chat?
I'm like a child.
Yeah,
I'm like a small child.
Saying.
Yeah.
You're on the spectrum.
Hello, sec.
Hello, child.
Do you know where my mum is? Well, that's a funky sweater you got on today. Tell me all about it. Yeah, okay.
Anyway, yeah, so this research has shown that having conversations with strangers boosts your mood.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar to what you were talking about in your story about
the good acts and how it can help depression.
So a few years ago, psychologists at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver began wondering whether to search for efficiency was harming our collective mood by limiting time we're willing to spend interacting with strangers, right?
Yeah. Can I quickly stop you? It's only America that we're seeing these studies.
What do you mean?
We need to pull our finger out in the UK. Okay, I suppose. All right, across the pond then, that we're seeing all these studies come out. We need to pull our finger out in the UK and start doing some happy, good news stuff. But yeah, sorry, go on.
There's that social inept part coming back in. So to find out, they sent a load of test subjects into a busy Starbucks and instructed them to get in and out as quickly as possible or spend a few minutes having a conversation. All right?
I bet that's sad. I bet people were hating them that. So
yeah,
some really awkward people were like, oh no.
Just enjoying their coffee and someone sits next to them. Can I have a chat, mate?
Trying to talk to him before their work day.
Jog on, mate. Anyway, so those who chatted to people wound up in a better mood and had a stronger sense of belonging in their community, opposed to those who didn't talk at all. So like I said about the London thing, right?
Yeah.
People just stand on the tube, you walk around, if you say hello to people, they wouldn't say hello back. Yet
Push
when
through
you come to
all that sort of stuff.
A small village,
yeah,
complete opposite.
Everyone's happy.
When I go for a walk, when I'm walking Rupert, everyone talks to Rupert, everyone says hello to me. I say hello to everybody, everyone says hello to me.
I'm not going to lie, it's because you got Rupert.
I mean,
if the listeners have seen Rupert's face...
He just waves at everyone as well.
I saw Alex's video today on her Instagram, and I think he was at a little playgroup or something.
Oh, yeah.
In front of the singer.
It's called,
yeah. The fact that he turned around, he was just looking at Alice and like, yeah, what's going on?
Yeah.
Just turned back.
But I could walk into the local pub, talk to anyone.
Yeah.
Where if I went to a pub in London and started talking to people, I feel like it wouldn't get the same reception.
You're scared you'd start a fight.
Well, yeah, maybe. Or they think I'm just a bit of a weirdo, that's all.
That's true, yeah. Maybe there's like some stigma about London. Maybe there's some sort of...
It's just cities and big towns, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's
Whereas
what it is.
Smaller villages are like the community feel.
Yeah.
Which reverts back to the study where they say they felt like they're being a part of the community.
Yeah.
So that's my little... So start talking to strangers.
Unless you're a child. Unless you're a child, in which don't talk to strangers.
Make sure you're accompanied by an adult. Don't accept any sweets. Don't get in any vans.
Yes, please don't. We don't condone that activities. But definitely talk to strangers if you can. Especially if it makes you happier.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's that sort of thing.
That was my little story.
Mate, we're gonna absolutely buzzing through this because I've got a very short, funny story.
So you can tell me about your week then.
Oh yeah, oh my god,
We haven't done any catch-ups.
Oh, we'll leave the recap to the end then.
When people have already switched off.
As if. So my funny story, we're back in Vermont University, and it is a honorary here we go. An honorary degree has been bestowed upon Max the cat for I can't believe they said this, or I'm going to say this, a Doctor of Literature.
Oh, I get it.
That's awful.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
I want to get
rid of that. You mean litter as a litter tray?
Yeah, I want to get rid of that so bad.
Go on.
Either way, so he's got a oh my god, I'm butchering this. An honorary degree for being a very friendly cat, funnily enough.
My cat's friendly. Where's his degree?
Because he doesn't hang around at university. Oh. That's why.
So
Max has been honoured for his friendliness towards the students on campus, which is a great continuation from what we've been talking about. So the positivity, we're keeping it rolling. So it goes on to say all he does, should I say, is just hang around with the kids on campus. That is literally all he does, but he's got a degree for it now, or an honorary degree. But because he's a super friendly cat, they thought it was welcome. So I think the students of this year have just graduated, and he's got his own little sort of mini follow-up graduation of just him. I really hope he gets the gown, the cap, literally everything as a cat. That'd be so good. I'm going to try and follow it and see if they do his graduation, if they do like a YouTube video of it.
Animals do make you happy though, right?
Animals, 100%. Dogs, cats, all animals, to be fair.
You see a lot of that in the UK as well, where they bring in dogs to schools to try and cheer people up.
Yeah.
What do they call them? It was on
like a pet day.
There was a TV show. I can't remember what it's called. It was like basically inside of schools, and there was a dog. Oh, educating Essex, educating Yorkshire. There's multiple. Different
yeah.
And one of them, there was a dog which they have in when people are feeling a bit low. They spend the time with a dog.
What, they have a legit dog at school sort of thing?
Yeah. So they go to classes with a dog. They take the dog for a walk.
Well, we didn't have that.
It's just to boost their mood.
Man, I'm just imagining something like a puppy room.
Oh, lucky to get a book at our school, let alone.
Yeah, our schools were so... Nah, our schools weren't that bad. Our schools were what we made them, pretty much. All the good times with your friends and stuff. But yeah, so either way, so Max the cat, so when he hangs around with the students, what he usually does, apparently most of the students take selfies with him and all that sort of stuff. But a little thing that I found out was he follows the new students that arrive on campus on their little campus tours. And they said that he knows exactly where to start, and he knows exactly where to follow people and where to stop. And when everyone else stops, apparently he stops and sits there and listens to the guy doing the campus tour.
Would you be annoyed if you were the owner though?
No, they're super happy about it.
Oh, okay. So I take it they live local.
Yeah. So their house is pretty much adjacent to the campus entrance, apparently. So this is a super local cat to the actual university itself. But yeah, so just imagine you've just joined the university and there's just a random cat just following you all the way around.
You're a freshman and he's graduated already.
Oh, he's a bit of creep on campus. Yeah. It's a bit of a weirdo. But no, Max the cat, he's got an honorary degree in literature. I'm going to repeat that.
Max Van Wilder, that's his name.
Max Van Wilder.
You said you reverted to a film.
We're doing movies every year.
I was trying to think of one. I got one eventually.
But yeah, so that is him. That is literally all I have for my little funny. I want people to imagine a small cat in a graduation cap and a graduation gown with a big cheesy grin on his face, shaking someone's hand, literally on hind legs, just being like, oh, yeah, cheers, thanks. Oh, carry on. Meow. Meow. Walking away with a little roll of a degree with some catnip on it or whatnot. Although I suppose catnip is basically drugs to cats, so maybe not ideal. Oh, it's on a university campus, who knows? But yeah, that's it. That's it for
the local catnip
my stories.
Dealer.
But yeah, so I mean, considering we're now at the end of the podcast, why not just we'll have a little catch up then? Because we got time. How's your week been?
I haven't done anything.
Oh, do you know what's really bad?
What?
No, why?
Well, let's just end it. Let's not punish the listeners.
No, you don't need to hear about us and our week. No, especially not if it's been an interesting week. Okay. So that's us for another week. Thank you for listening. If you've randomly come across us, don't gatekeep. We want to get the good news out as far as wide as possible. So like, subscribe, follow, leave us a review if you're really feeling generous. It helps us grow.
You can find us on our socials, TikTok and Instagram, where you can hear some snippets and posts of a couple of the stories if you fancy a recap. So maybe even some bloopers in there, which is always good fun. You can also drop us an email on KTGGTKpod@outlook.com. Get in touch with your happy stories. You never know, we might talk about them in the upcoming episodes.
Catch us again next Monday with another boost of good stuff to make you smile.
Stay positive.
Stay positivo!